Hey guys, this is the Swiss Lazy Chef, and today I'm gonna have to whisper actually. I'm gonna share with you my secret kitchen hack. If you have that one in your kitchen, in your freezer, you're always gonna have great dishes. It is about herb butter with garlic. I'm gonna share with you my secret that I have learned when I was 16 years old and I had my apprenticeship. And there with the French Parisian chefs, they taught me how to make the most beautiful herb butter, spicy herb butter that you can imagine. And this herb butter, you actually just add it to almost everything that you want. If you like garlic, then great, then you're gonna have a lot of garlic. If you don't like, you just make it without the garlic. And you add that butter to meat, to fish, into anything warm, into pasta. You can have it for on the hot vegetables, anything, or even on bread. And it's just gonna taste delicious. So today we're going to make my big herb butter secret recipe. Look for my mise en place. Mise en place means that I prepare things before I start cooking. A lot of times I'm just starting to cook and I prepare it on the go. But for today, so you can see what I'm gonna do, is I'm giving you a nice overview of everything that I'm gonna prepare and all the ingredients I'm gonna need. Of course, you see that this is a lot. I'm having here 2.5 kilos of butter. Why? A lot of butter means a lot of stack in the freezer. I can keep it a long time in the freezer. It tastes awesome. I have to do it only once every couple of months. And like this, it's just easy to make. You have 2 hours to do, maybe 1.5 hours, maybe even only an hour if you do small quantities. And you are gonna have a nice stack in the freezer. Wow, so that's 2.5 kilos of butter. Then what we have here, you can have an overview, is the Provence herbs. And we have pepper, it's all in Spanish here, sweet paprika, dill. Then here, these are 2 kinds of mustard. One is grained, a little bit of soy sauce, here in this case soy gluten-free. It's a very important ingredient is the Worcestershire sauce. Then I use Himalayan salt, a little bit of sweet chili sauce for the spice and sweetness, and I'll make a second little version of herb butter that I'm gonna spice a little bit with Cajun spice and lemon. And then obviously one of the most important ingredients is the herbs. Here I bought them ready, already mixed with some garlic in it. This is cilantro. And here we have garlic and eschalots, so the red onions. That's gonna be my mise en place. I'm gonna prepare this now. Okay. So let's start it. First, I would add the eschalots. This is around, let's say around 200 grams of eschalots. I'll keep the garlic for now. Then I would add of this around the half, so that's 2 bunches that I cut already, pre-cut. I'm only using half because I like to make later on a second part that I'm gonna keep to make this different Cajun butter. And then the next would be some of these Provence herbs. Well, let's start with a little bit, not too much. So 1, 2 big spoons. Then pepper, since it's more intensive but still needed, I'll start with 1 tablespoon. From the sweet paprika, I'll also use 1 tablespoon. Then the dill, I'll also use 1 tablespoon. This is all just for starting because I am not doing this directly by recipe anymore. More out of a gut feeling that I'm going to share with you here. Then the mustard. I'm going to guess that this is 1 big spoon. Around 2 big spoons. And from this grained mustasa, so the unmilled, I'm also adding around 2 small spoons. Then I will add a little bit of this garlic butter, from this garlic and parsley mix to get a little bit of garlic in it. Most people can handle weak garlic butter. They just don't like the really strong garlic butter. Then comes the soy sauce. 1, 2, 3. Let's start with 3 big spoons. For me, the secret, one of the secrets is the Worcestershire sauce. 1, 2, 3, 4. Worcestershire sauce for now. And the salt. You see, I'm always using the same spoon because it's just easier. I told you I'm the lazy chef, so make things easy as possible. So we have 1 flat spoon of salt, 2 flat spoons of salt, 3 flat spoons of salt. All right. So now we can start to mix it. Well, so now you here see my kitchen kneader, or my kitchen machine that I'm using to mix all those nice ingredients. I'm gonna show you only a part of it because I'm gonna do that for around 15 to 20 minutes because it has to be foamy, it has to be really well melted, dissolved. For example, the salt needs to be dissolved, all the tastes from all the herbs need to go into the butter. So I'll show the beginning and then I will turn off the video for showing you what's happening after. So let's see how this butter so far tastes after 5 minutes. Let's see. Not too bad, but also not really tasty. I will need some more herbs. One more. Some more pepper. Of this one, I'm not gonna use more paprika at the moment, because you want to use still for the other butter a little bit. But Worcestershire sauce for sure. 1, 2, 3, 4 more. Soy sauce as well. Don't taste it at all in the butter yet, but it will enhance the taste. And also, let's use at least one full spoon more of salt. And since it's missing a little bit of sweetness, I'm gonna also add 2 spoons, let's say 3 spoons of sweet chili sauce. It's also giving it a little bit more umami taste. As you can see, the butter is still not really gained on volume. Let's see if I can manage to put up the volume a little bit of this butter so it gets more fluffy. Now that we are in the middle of the mixing, I'd like to tell you a little trick why am I called the lazy chef, also why I call myself the lazy chef. First of all, I like to use those IKEA bowls. They are really cool. They never break. They have a lot of space and really you can do almost everything with them. And for another idea, another trick, what I'm gonna do here, because I don't really like always turning. So what I'm doing when it's running, basically it runs almost by itself. can do this all day. After mixing now for around 10 minutes, it really got very soft. As you can see, it is really softy, really nice, creamy almost. So what I'm going to do, I took half of it out, I put it into the other bowl, so I can make with this one really the intensive garlic butter. So I'm going to add the parsley that I already had added garlic. It should really be garlicky. Nice. So let's mix this, and maybe I will have to add some more spices, and then this sauce, this is almost ready to be made portions with it. Let's have a taste how it tastes now after around 15 minutes. So you have to make sure that it is really salty enough. Not over salt, obviously, but also not really low, because you're going to add this herb butter, for example, on a piece of meat. So you want to have it intensifying the taste of the meat or the fish. In that case, it makes sense to have it really enough salty, enough spicy, that is a good balance. So I do think I will need to add a little bit more salt. I dare to put that directly from the big bottle. That's around another big spoon, and I'll add also some pepper. That's around half of a tablespoon, and then this sauce would be finished. Since I had split before the 2 parts of butter, I will add now here on the second part, which I'm going to make the Cajun lemon sauce or herb butter. I'll add here some salt, since the other half of the sauce was also a bit low on salt. As I told you before, I kept some of the cilantro. And for the good spice, let me add some Cajun spice. Really curious about this, how it's gonna taste. Yeah, my goal is to have it really well spiced. And for now, I should get a spoon. Here we go. And for a little bit of interesting flavor, just let me add the lemon juice. I don't really mind if there's a little seeds in it. Be much more effort. Find 1 or 2 seeds that are falling in. That's not, at this time I don't have, so that's not what I'm going to focus on. Great. Normally I throw everything into the trash, or if I don't have a trash nearby, here's the sink behind me, and then I clean that sink up later on. So let me mix this one, and then let's see how it's going to taste. Now I'm curious. Nice, really nice. The lemon just gives a nice kick, but I think I could use a little bit more of the Cajun spice. I just doubled it, so it's another 2 spoons that I'm added, and then I'm gonna mix this now. And after this sauce is perfect. This Kräuterbutter, this herb butter. When the sauce is finished, you're about to put it in a nice form. I would suggest big flat trays that you can put a baking paper on it. The baking paper helps that the butter, when it's cold enough, doesn't stick. I'm also going to use this kind of Tupperware with a paper in it, just to already have 1 layer in this Tupperware. And then what you're going to need, if you want to make it really beautiful in the presentation, because usually everyone eats with the eye, and if you want to be lazy in the kitchen and you have some tricks to make it a little bit more beautiful, nice looking, then use, for example, this kind of trick. With a nozzle, a little star. What chefs normally do is they would bend this bag, they would bend it a little bit over like that, so they can have one hand underneath here, like this. And then they would start to fill up the butter into the bag. So you can just actually go against your hand. Your hand is protected with the plastic from this little bag. And we are pushing this sauce, or this herb butter actually. I don't know, I was always saying sauce. It's very thin in the evening, so maybe that's why. All right, then you can just, when it's more or less full, you can close it like that. And then basically push it inside. Now I made a little mistake here. I put a bit too much. I'll put this back into the bowl here. The rest I'll push it downwards. It should be now nicely melted. If it's gonna be messy, I promise you it's gonna be messy. That's okay. Chefs have to wash their hands all the time. So now when it's closed and the top is closed, you hold it like this. Maybe you turn it, twist it a little bit. So you really have a good grip. And then you can push it down till it arrives at the nozzle. And then you can practice yourself making rosettes. You see, I have to push really hard because those nozzles are really, really small, the ones I have here. It's really gonna be taking a while. Push 2 kilograms into rosettes. You can do different forms, obviously. You can also make an 8. Like 8s that go down. That's also a pretty nice form. But most of the time I'm just usually doing the roses. When you put it later on in the fridge, just keep it in the fridge at least for 2 hours, or put it directly in the freezer if you have space in the freezer. So until the butter is hard again. When it's hard, especially when it comes into the freezer, it will be frozen afterwards. Like this, you can keep it really long. I would suggest that you wait until it's frozen or it's very cold from the fridge, and then you can simply stack them together in those Tupperwares, for example, and keep them in the freezer for a long period of time. So now what just happened is this bag just broke. Luckily, I bought myself some other ones. Another way on how to store it very easily is if you take a baking paper and you have your bag again. You make a little, or actually a big hole around 2 centimeter diameter or 2.5, and you make a line. With it, more or less same thickness. And then just clean my hands. What you can do is you can take that, close it down, and if you have something like a long knife or something that is really straight, like for example this knife, it's a very long straight edge, and you can push it down here. I'll do it from the other direction as well. So you can take it and push it in this direction in order to make this butter in this baking powder really round. And then you just finish up rolling this baking paper together. And like this, you can put it in the freezer. No space. If you want it, you just take a knife, cut what you need, the rest you leave in the freezer. My secret herb and garlic butter is ready. 2.5 hours later, I have 2 types of garlic and herb butter. One part is the Cajun butter. I had some spare, I'm gonna keep this for the next couple of days. And I have the real one, the real garlic butter. Oh my God, I can't wait until my guests are gonna try that one. It will be so exciting. This recipe has been, as I told you, known for me for around 25 years now. Crazy. And every time I do it, people go crazy and nuts. And I'm not really long in the kitchen anymore. If you want to do it, count in around 2.5 to 3 hours. Get not only half a kilo. Doesn't make sense because there's a lot of ingredients you need to organize, a lot of things you need to think about. And so I suggest you just get yourself 2 kilo, 3 kilo, and then it makes sense. And then you can really like put it in the freezer, make a space somewhere. And then if you have guests, just take that herb butter. You can also mix it into any other sauce and it will just enhance the flavor of this sauce. So it will be really interesting to experiment with it. It is made of pure butter, so the fat is really transporting also the aromas, the tastes into any food that you're gonna add it to. So have fun with it if you try it yourself. I'm gonna definitely look forward to try that one and give it to my guests. Greetings from the Lazy Chef. This was the herb butter secret recipe.